What happened to the Alicia Keys and Beyoncé music video for
what?
and a love song? Where is it?
I need to locate it.
Y'all, this story right here might be one of the wildest hidden chapters in Beyoncé and Alicia Keys' careers, a mystery that's been sitting in plain sight for over a decade. Back in 2010, two of R&B's biggest powerhouses teamed up for what should have been a massive cultural moment. Put it in a love song. Alicia Keys was fresh off The Element of Freedom. Beyoncé was still glowing from I Am, Sasha Fierce, and together they had a track that sounded like an instant hit. The plan? Fly to Brazil, shoot a blockbuster video, drop it worldwide, and give fans that once-in-a-lifetime diva collab. But then, nothing. The song was never released as a single, the video vanished, and fans were left asking the same question for years. What happened to Put It in a Love Song?
I need to locate it. I feel like enough time has passed that I could call B and we would both be on the phone and just be like, let's just drop it. And I feel like we would both be cool with it. So what I first need to do is locate the archive and then make the call. Let's see how we do.
People speculated about everything. Some said the label lost interest. Others swore there was secret beef between the two stars, but nobody had a real answer. Until now. Because Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father and longtime manager, just sat down with Carlos King and spilled the tea. And according to him, the reason that video never came out has nothing to do with music politics and everything to do with gangsters in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro.
What happened to the Alicia Keys and Beyoncé music video for
what?
and a love song? Where is it? We saw a little glimpse of it.
So I get a phone call because I'm not a micromanager, and they're in the projects hood ghetto.
Let's rewind. The year was 2010. Beyoncé had just wrapped the I Am World Tour. Alicia Keys was topping charts with Try Sleeping with a Broken Heart. They filmed the video in Brazil, using the colorful streets and energy of Rio as the backdrop. The visuals that leaked, short behind-the-scenes clips, showed the two icons in matching white outfits, laughing, dancing in the streets, surrounded by cheering crowds. Fans were hyped, but behind those smiles, chaos was brewing. In his new interview, Matthew Knowles said he got a sudden phone call from the production team, and what they told him sounded like something out of a movie. He said, quote, "They were in the projects, hood, ghetto in Rio. Sony hadn't paid the gangsters, and they had to be helicoptered out of there." Yeah, you heard that right. Helicoptered out.
In Rio. And Sony hadn't paid the gangsters. And they had to be helicoptered out of there. A whole lot you don't know, young man. It's a lot that people don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At least listen, we got the song and I'm glad that everyone is saying it.
No, that's really what happened.
Apparently, local crews had set up to shoot deep inside one of Rio's favelas, neighborhoods often controlled by organized gangs. According to Matthew, the production team and record label failed to check in or pay the street tax that's sometimes required to film safely in those areas. Without that payment, things went left fast. The set was allegedly rushed, tensions rose, and Beyoncé and Alicia were forced to evacuate before things got dangerous. It sounds unreal. Two global superstars literally running from danger mid-shoot. But anyone who knows Brazil's favela politics knows it's not far-fetched. Those neighborhoods operate under their own systems of power, and filming there without clearance, it's risky, even for megastars backed by major labels. To put it in perspective, Michael Jackson faced something similar years earlier when he shot They Don't Care About Us in Rio's Santa Marta favela.
Michael Jackson's famous 1996 music video for They Don't Care About Us was shot in a Rio de Janeiro slum. During that period, the area was under the control of Marcio Amaro de Oliveira, better known as Marchinho VP, a recognized drug lord. To guarantee Michael's security, they had to speak with the drug kingpin Marchinho VP because the Brazilian police refused to climb the hills of the slum. Brazilian-born Brown University graduate Katia Lund, who was working for Spike Lee, was sent to speak to Marchinho and negotiate for protection. Despite being known as a dangerous criminal, Marchinho VP was actually a huge Michael Jackson fan.
But the police don't even go up there. There's one guy that runs the favela. And so we had to go see him to make sure that Michael Jackson would be safe. We had to pay him a little money, but he said, while you're here, Michael Jackson and you guys, this would be the safest place. You could put $1,000 bill on the ground and you come back the next night, it's gonna be there.
He only got to finish filming because the local drug lord happened to be a fan, and the label paid the neighborhood's leaders. That's how serious it is. So when Matthew Knowles says Beyoncé and Alicia were airlifted out because Sony hadn't paid the gangsters, that's not some wild exaggeration. That's the kind of thing that happens when big-budget productions forget the rules of the streets. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Alicia Keys herself addressed the missing video years ago, but she told a completely different story. When asked about it, Alicia laughed and said she just needed to locate the video. "I feel like enough time has passed that I could call B and we'd both be cool with it," she said with a smile. "I just need to locate the archive and make the call." At the time, fans took that as her being playful, like maybe the footage was just sitting in a vault somewhere waiting to be edited. But looking back now, Matthew Knowles' version adds a whole new layer. If they had to evacuate suddenly, maybe the equipment was left behind. Maybe the footage never even made it back to the US. And that explains why, for over a decade, nobody's seen the full cut, not even a leak. Just a few blurry behind-the-scenes stills and a couple of seconds from a promotional reel. That's it. It's wild when you think about how big this moment could have been. In 2010, both artists were at the top of their game. Alicia had Grammys stacking up, Beyoncé was redefining superstardom, and fans were craving female unity in R&B. Put It in a Love Song could have been the anthem of that year. Instead, it became one of the biggest what-ifs in modern music. So why is Matthew Knowles speaking on it now? Probably because the mystery never died. Every few years, fan pages on X, Twitter, or Reddit revive the question, where is the video? Threads go viral. People tag Alicia, tag Beyoncé, and the cycle starts all over again. And this time, we finally have a story wild enough to match the myth. Think about it. Two of the world's most powerful women in music nearly caught in a dangerous situation overseas, escaping by helicopter and losing one of the most anticipated music videos of their careers. That's not just gossip. That's history. But even with Matthew Knowles' explanation, one big mystery still remains. What happened to the footage? Was it left behind? Was it damaged? Or did someone, somewhere, stash it in a vault so deep even the artists don't know where it is? Fans online are hoping that Alicia Keys' comment about calling B and just dropping it one day might still come true. Because after hearing what went down in Rio, people are even more curious to see the lost visuals that almost never made it home. And if Alicia ever does find that footage, you can bet the internet will break all over again. After Matthew Knowles dropped that bombshell interview, the internet lit up like it was 2010 all over again. Fans who had long given up on ever seeing Put It in a Love Song suddenly had their jaws on the floor. Because let's be honest, nobody expected the explanation for that missing video to include gangsters, helicopters, and a full-on escape mission out of Brazil. Clips from Carlos King's show started circulating on X, TikTok, and Instagram with captions like, "Beyoncé and Alicia Keys ran out of Brazil," and "The real reason the collab vanished within hours, hashtag Put It in a Love Song was trending again." And old fan pages that had been inactive for years were suddenly alive, reposting screenshots from the video shoot like a digital time capsule had cracked open. People were divided. Some believed Matthew immediately. After all, he was Beyoncé's manager at the time and deeply involved in every move of her early career. Others thought he was exaggerating the story to make it sound more dramatic. But the truth is, if you know how the entertainment world works, especially when filming in foreign countries, it's not hard to believe. Let's paint the full picture here. The Put It in a Love Song shoot happened during Carnival season in Rio, one of the most chaotic times of year. Crowds, parades, street blockades, and unpredictable conditions. Add to that the fact that they were filming in favelas, neighborhoods often controlled by local leaders and unofficial gatekeepers who expect respect, and yes, payment before any cameras roll. If the production crew really failed to clear that, that's a disaster waiting to happen. There's a long history of high-profile music videos and film crews having to negotiate with local powers in Brazil. Back in the 90s, Michael Jackson's team famously had to pay the Santa Marta favela leaders just to secure safety during his "They Don't Care About Us" video. That's public record. So if Sony, the same label that backed Alicia and Beyoncé, skipped that step, the story tracks. And that's what makes Matthew's statement hit even harder. He said, "Sony hadn't paid the gangsters and they had to be helicoptered out. Not they left early, not they packed up, helicoptered out." That kind of wording paints an image. Beyoncé and Alicia Keys in full glam, surrounded by camera gear, being rushed into a chopper while chaos unfolds below. It's surreal. And it also explains why there's been zero trace of the completed video in over a decade. Because when something like that goes wrong, it's not just a matter of bad timing, it's liability. If the shoot was shut down mid-production due to safety issues, it's possible the footage was confiscated or stuck in legal limbo. The label might have decided to bury it quietly rather than risk controversy. And to this day, neither Beyoncé nor Alicia has publicly contradicted Matthew's story. Alicia's older interviews now sound completely different in context. When she said, "I just have to locate the video," fans thought she was being casual or forgetful. But what if she literally meant it? As in, she doesn't know where the footage ended up. That's what's fueling fan theories right now. Some people believe the master reels were lost in transit or left behind when the team fled Brazil. Others think they were archived at Sony and quietly shelved due to insurance issues or internal politics. There's even a theory that Beyoncé's camp chose not to release it because it didn't fit her branding at the time. Too colorful, too carefree, too off-theme for her post-Sasha Fierce era. And honestly, all of that could be true at once. Remember, 2010 was a turning point for both women. Beyoncé was transitioning from her early R&B sound into a more global, polished image. Alicia was diving deeper into soulful storytelling and away from radio-friendly collabs. A fun, flirty track, like "Put It in a Love Song," while catchy, might have felt out of place once the chaos in Brazil happened. So instead of forcing it, both sides moved on. The song quietly faded into album filler status, the video got lost in legend, and the world never saw what could have been a career-defining visual moment. Still, fans never let it go. Over the years, every leaked clip, every behind-the-scenes shot reignited the obsession. People analyzed wardrobe details, background colors, even the weather, trying to figure out which scenes were shot before everything went wrong. One viral fan theory even claimed that the dancers seen in a short MTV Brazil promo were actually stand-ins filmed after Beyoncé had already left the country. But here's where the story hits its climax. Because Matthew Knowles' revelation doesn't just solve a mystery. It also exposes how fragile even the biggest productions can be. Think about it. Two of the most powerful women in the world, backed by one of the biggest record labels on earth with private security and global fame, and even they weren't safe from local street politics. That's how unpredictable the entertainment game can get when you cross international lines. And yet, it's also what makes this story so fascinating. Because now, 15 years later, fans are demanding that Sony and both artists revisit the project. Hashtags like "release the Brazil footage" and "put It in a Love Song Challenge" are popping up on TikTok. People are remixing the track, doing dance edits, recreating the leaked visuals with filters and AI. The internet has basically decided that if Alicia can't find the footage, fans will manifest it themselves. But at the same time, some folks are using the story as a reminder of just how protected Beyoncé has always been. Her team doesn't play about safety or image. The second anything feels off, she's out. And Matthew Knowles' story just proves how deep that goes. Industry insiders even started connecting dots to other mysteriously scrapped Beyoncé projects over the years. The rumored Black Culture video that never saw daylight, the unreleased Bow Down visuals, and early footage from Destiny's Child's shelved videos. Every time something's gone missing, it's turned into myth. And that's the thing about Beyoncé. When something doesn't fit the brand, it doesn't exist. And that discipline, that control, is part of what's kept her career spotless for 2 decades. So when Matthew dropped this Brazil story, it felt like a crack in the armor. It reminded everyone that even legends have close calls, and not every project ends with polish and perfection. Some stories end mid-chaos with a chopper in the sky and footage left behind in the streets. It's the kind of reveal that makes you look back at those brief behind-the-scenes clips differently. The laughter, the dancing, the smiles. They weren't just two icons having fun. They were moments captured right before everything went off the rails. And that realization, it's exactly why fans are obsessed all over again. Because now, "Put It in a Love Song" isn't just a lost collab. It's the lost chapter of early 2000s R&B history. Even after all these years, it's wild to realize that one of the most anticipated collabs in R&B history might have ended with helicopters and missing footage. And now that Matthew Knowles finally told his side, the internet can't stop dissecting every word. Within days of that interview, clips flooded TikTok with fans saying, "I knew something bigger went down," while others joked, "Not Beyoncé and Alicia getting chased out the favela like an action movie." The story took on a life of its own. Fan art, fake movie posters, even AI recreations of the lost videos started popping up. But underneath the jokes, people were genuinely fascinated. Because if this really happened, if 2 megastars had to flee a music video set in Brazil because the label didn't check in with the local gangs, it's not just a wild story. It's a reminder of how unpredictable fame can be. Beyoncé and Alicia were at the height of their power back then, yet one small misstep, a local misunderstanding, a missed payment, nearly turned a glamorous shoot into a dangerous situation. That's the kind of thing that humbles even the most powerful people in the industry. And that's what fans are talking about now. Not just what happened, but what it means. Because Put It in a Love Song was supposed to symbolize unity. Two successful black women at the top of their craft coming together to celebrate love, power, and confidence. Instead, it became a symbol of how fragile even the best plans can be in the entertainment world. How one chaotic moment can erase what could have been a timeless piece of music history. Still, not everyone's convinced the gang story is the whole truth. Some fans think Matthew Knowles may have exaggerated, saying it's just as likely that the project got shelved because of creative politics. Back in 2010, Beyoncé was transitioning from the glitzy Sasha Fierce era into her more mature 4 album, a shift that focused less on collaborations and more on personal artistry. Alicia, on the other hand, had a whole new chapter unfolding. New motherhood, a different sound, and less time for visuals. So maybe the danger in Brazil wasn't the only reason it was dropped. But here's the thing, even if you doubt the story, it still fits perfectly into the mystique surrounding both women, because part of Beyoncé and Alicia Keys' legacy has always been their control. They release what they want, when they want. If something doesn't align with the image or message they're curating, it disappears. No questions, no leaks, no chaos. That's why the Put It in a Love Song mystery fascinates fans. It's a rare glimpse into a moment they couldn't control. And now, people want justice for the song. Put It in a Love Song streams have spiked on Spotify and Apple Music since the interview. TikTok creators started a hashtag Put It in a Love Song challenge, dancing to clips from the track and demanding that Alicia Keys find that archive already. Fan pages are tagging both artists daily with hashtag Release the Video. Some are even suggesting that if the original footage truly got lost, Alicia and Beyoncé should reunite and reshoot it. This time safely, with 2025 budgets and better planning. That idea alone sent the internet into meltdown. Because can you imagine? 15 years later, the two queens coming back together for a re-release of the same track that almost got them chased out of Brazil? That would break the internet 10 times over. And honestly, the timing would be perfect. Alicia's been celebrating 20 years of the diary of Alicia Keys, and Beyoncé's deep in her Renaissance era, celebrating unity, freedom, and legacy. If there was ever a moment to revive that collab, this is it. But for now, the mystery remains, and that's part of its power. Because when a story sits unsolved for over a decade, it becomes legend. Put It in a Love Song isn't just a missing music video anymore. It's a piece of pop culture folklore. A reminder that even at the height of fame, chaos can step in and rewrite the ending. And for fans, that lingering mystery keeps it alive. They're not just remembering a lost collab, they're remembering an era. The flashy R&B videos, the matching outfits, the feel-good sisterhood energy. It's nostalgia mixed with curiosity, a what could have been that refuses to fade away. And honestly, that's what makes this story timeless. Because every few years, something new about it surfaces. A photo, a behind-the-scenes clip, a comment, or now, a wild revelation from Matthew Knowles, and the legend grows even bigger. It's like a vault that refuses to stay locked. So maybe Alicia was right all along when she said, I just need to locate it. Because if she ever does, if that footage ever surfaces, it won't just be a music video drop, it'll be a cultural event. A redemption moment for a song that's been waiting 15 years for justice. And until that day comes, fans will keep asking the same question that's echoed across the internet for over a decade. Where is Put It in a Love Song? Because one thing's for sure, wherever it is, that video is worth gold. Now it's your turn. What do y'all think really happened? Was Matthew Knowles telling the full truth? Or is there more to this story that we'll never know? Should Alicia and Beyoncé finally reunite and drop it? Or should it stay in the vault forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this conversation going. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that hype button, because when that lost video finally surfaces, you know we'll be right here breaking it all down for you.